In this episode, I share how a breakup affected me as a salon and spa professional and as the Beauty Pro coach. To my one to one coaching clients, I have completely changed. I share how my emotions and physical, emotional strain can keep me or us from performing our best and how to combat it so it does not continue. If you struggle with this kind of topic with your personal friendships, relationships, family, coworkers, this episode is for you. Are you a beauty or barber pro looking for that push to do that thing you've always wanted to do, whether it's in or out of the salon, spa, or shop? Are you tired of not feeling good enough, smart enough, skilled enough? Are you tired of not getting a handle on your mental health, boundaries, and insecurities? I'm Christine Sherwood, the Beauty Pro Coach, an internationally certified coach, a salon and spa owner, and your personal Jiminy Cricket. I use my own experiences, good and bad, as a salon owner to help you be more self-aware, authentic, and forward-thinking in your approach to life, in and out of the salon. It's time to reach your version of success with the Beauty Pro Coach podcast. Hello, my favorite people on the planet. I love you so much. Thank you. I just want to get on here really quick and just be like, thank you for following me on Instagram and Facebook and being on my VIP email list and subscribing and commenting on the podcast, the Beauty Pro podcast. I am so beyond grateful to have you in my space, in my circle, in my orbit. Um, Today, I just kind of want to touch on something that I have gone through recently. But let me like rewind. So, like many of you know, or maybe you don't, or maybe you're going through it. I am totally single. I am a single bird, and it is time for me to get out there and start dating, which I have been. You'll be very happy to know. One of my uh, booth renters in the salon, because we have a hybrid salon, she goes, Christine, you need to date. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what? You need to get a boyfriend. You need to get married. Like, go and do it. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I finally did it. Like, I downloaded the apps, which I hate, by the way. Like, I hate the apps, but I'm doing it, right? Because this is the age that we're living in. This is how we do things. And if you have been on the dating apps, I don't know if you've discovered this, but this was something that I found really like kind of shocking and interesting is that we are all scared shitless. Like we are all afraid, right? The guys are afraid of, you know, being organic and going up to a girl at a restaurant, at a bar, at a, friendly gathering. Like they're afraid that they will make the first move and then they'll be in court because of like a sexual assault. So the guys are freaked out. Okay, so they're not talking to any girls. And then the girls, we're all afraid because we're so rapeable. You know what I mean? Like we're always getting raped. The guys are always like squeezing our asses, trying to like do something that is that's not what we want. And so then you have this culture of everybody's afraid of everybody. And so then there's no dating, there's no communicating, there's just toxic hookups, situationships. Nobody knows what they want because they're too focused on their fear. Like it's just this endless cycle of just garbage. And so that was something that I have discovered while being on the apps. And I do say apps plural because if you know me, which by now you probably should, since you see me on Instagram, Facebook, the YouTube, Beauty Pro podcast, like I don't half-ass anything. I am always full ass all the time, all day long. Like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna give it my all, and I am going to exhaust all avenues all resources. Like, I am going to dry that bitch and I'm just gonna, like, I'm just gonna use it up to its max. And so, yes, I have multiple apps and I've met quite a few interesting people. And I will tell you that each guy that I have met, so there have been periods of time where for a whole week, I have had a date like every single week or every single day of that week. Sometimes multiple times. Like I'll have a coffee date in the morning and maybe like a lunch or dinner in the afternoon. And like it's great. As a woman, like we get to wield our feminine power and like get free food. You know what I mean? Like I am about it. Like I don't know about you, but we've all kind of been in like financial hard times. And so going on a date, like I have said this to my family, like, I'm like, you know what? I think I want some Greek food. Let me just message this guy and see if he wants to go on a date, if he wants to meet at the Greek place. And I have done it. Okay. Maybe it's totally bad. Maybe it's totally toxic. I'm sorry. I don't mean to offend. It's just what's working for me right now. Okay. Um, I will say I do not sleep with anybody. I don't sleep with any of my encounters. Um, I just can't. Even if I wanted to, it's just they're a little weird. Okay, I met one guy. And it's so funny because Starbucks is like my go-to spot, and they already know me. And they're like, "Hey, Christine." And so when I go and I meet a guy, they're like, you see them like, oh, like wheeled it back. Hold on, she's on a date. Like it is so like they know. They know already. And they give me the eye, like another one? Like, girl, what are you doing? And it is so funny. I went to a local Thai spot and I met somebody there and his card got declined. Okay. Like this is for real. And it was so embarrassing for him. I didn't care because I am in that Thai place all the time. They know me, they know my name, they know my order. And they were like looking at me like, ugh, girl, he is not the one for you. No, no. Here's some more sushi. That guy not your boyfriend, okay? Like it was intense. That guy didn't work out. Okay, so there was that guy. There was a guy I met in Starbucks. He had first and foremost gorgeous guy. Like I was so attracted and then he opened his mouth and his front teeth were rotten. Rotten, okay? And not only were they rotten, but he still lived with his ex-wife in the same house. And I immediately was like, "What? You what? Oh, yeah, we're done. We're done. Thanks for the drink. Bye." And that was terrible. I had another guy who I had actually gone to high school with, and I was like so excited. I was like, "Oh my God, weren't you married? Like, what's happening? This is crazy." As a girl, you kind of get into that mindset of, "Oh my God, could this be the one? Like, is this how our story is? Like, is this how it begins? Like, we were friends in school and then now we're going to be lovers? Like, oh my God." Like, you get into this mindset of like, "Oh my God, do I get to marry like a high school buddy? Like, what?" Okay. Well, long story short, he was still married. And he was just separated. And I was like, "Separated? Huh. So you're still married?" He's like, "Yeah." I said, interesting. Yeah, no. And then he was actually my first, I think, date. And he stood me up. And I never heard from him since. And I was like, okay. For me, when it comes to dating, I am very much old school. I am very old fashioned values. Okay. I'm kind of a nerd about it. And for me, separated, if you're listening, this is nothing against your life, your decisions, what you do. This is just me speaking about me. My parents are divorced. They have been for a very long time. And I remember learning about it because as a child of divorce, you have to take those therapy classes and you have to know what it's about and what the difference is between marriage, what is it, living together, marriage, separation, divorce, all that stuff. And so that always stuck with me. And even as a little girl, I was like, okay, no, you want divorce if you're going to date somebody, because there's, clear ties. It's clearly over and you can move on. So when my friend told me that he was separated, I was like, okay, you're still married. You're still married. Like by law, like if we do a legal search, you are married still. You might be divorced in your heart and in your mind and physically. You might be living in different sections of the state or country or whatever. But legally, you're still married. And if I want to get married to you, I can't because you have to get divorced and make it final. So I am very old school. So there goes that. So that narrows that down for any men that are out there. Like, you got to be divorced. Okay. And then you have the guys with kids, which is super great. I'm all about it. Like, I love kids, no big deal, but it is a big adjustment, right? From having 0 kids to, oh my God, there we have kids. It's an adjustment. So I have dated guys with kids. That's no problem. It's cool. But I do remember feeling like, okay, so like I'm always going to be last, right? I'm always going to be second, last, you know, the next thought, right? So that is a commitment that you have to be ready for. I'm at a period in my life where I want to be the first thought and I want to have those experiences with somebody else and we can kind of grow together in that department and we can share our first experiences with each other. So there goes all the guys with kids. So got to be divorced, preferably no kids, please. But if you do, that's fine. You never know. Like I'm not going to completely exit out, but I do have my preferred search. Um, and then, then you got to think of like the type. And so my type is very much Thor, Captain America, Marvel superheroes. Okay, like that is my type. Okay, I am into CrossFit and I'm into all these things. And it's kind of hard to be with somebody who is not sharing those same kind of values and activities. Like if I'm a CrossFitter doing all these Spartan races and military runs and all these kinds of things, and then I'm with a couch potato who drinks beer all day, like that's not gonna work out. Okay. So there's that. So, okay. So I all of that to bring you to this point, which is I met this guy, super great. Okay. I like I said, I really truly have been manifesting a certain type of guy for my life. Um physically, emotionally, spiritually, like all these things. And some of my coworkers and my friends and people that I know, they're like, "Oh my God, Christine, you're so picky. You have to just like cool it. Just, maybe you should probably um try something out of your comfort zone, something out of your type." And I get what they're saying, but no. Like, and I will explain. Like, I am a very outgoing person. I'm very very much all woman, like emotions and breakdowns and all kinds of things. And I have already dated the very quiet, bald-headed, cat-loving guy, right? I have a dog who hates cats and I am outgoing and I don't like to sit and not get into the action, right? I have dated that already. And in my past relationships that were so bad and so toxic and so blah, I have I have been with the exact opposite of me. And I can tell you it doesn't work for me. But I also don't want somebody who's exactly like me because that's boring, right? You got to find the medium. So anyway, I met this guy, super cool. Like he was taller than me. We shared a lot of the same morals and values. He was a cowboy, but he says no, but he was. The nickname was, he's a cowboy without a cow. And that's fine. It was fun, fine and fun. He was built, you guys, like a superhero. But what I was not expecting was that he was bald. And I was like, whoa, okay. Like I guess I had never pictured myself with a bald guy, right? But I was like, that's fine. That's cool. No big deal. Um, we held hands, we might have kissed a little bit, and I laughed so hard. It was so like it was so much fun. It was great. And we were talking for about a month. So some of you who are listening are probably like, "Oh my god, this girl is freaking out about a guy who she only dated for a month." Yes, I am, because I am so emotional and I get very easily emotionally attached, okay? So just listen to my story and laugh. So I was dating this guy, and we went out to eat and we had a walk in the park and we held hands, and it turns out friends of mine saw me with this guy and they were like, "Oh my god, are you on a date? You have such good vibes. I really like this guy for you. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." And I'm like, haha, yeah. Haha. Okay. So, all right. So then he travels from the other side of the state to come hang out with me for a weekend. And it was so amazing, so beautiful, so romantic. And I really loved it. And we had really good chemistry. And then we went shooting at a gun range, and I was so nervous. And we had fun. We went in, went out. It was great. We went to the dog park so our dogs can get acquainted. And of course, everybody who has a dog, that if your dog doesn't like the person, it's not going to happen, right? So that was low key what we were doing too. And I noticed that my dog was like, I don't care about that guy, but whatever. Okay, Chris, like that's all right, fine. I'm going to go play at the dog park. But my dog did not care. He did not care about this guy. Okay. Normally he would like go crazy with whoever is with me and like want to be pet and all this stuff, but we were also at the park, so it's kind of unclear. Okay. So there we are at the park, and they were like, "Oh my god, are you guys newlyweds? Like what? You guys are so cute together. Wow." And I was like, "Wow, this must be great. Like I've never gotten this before with anybody. This is awesome." And we're at the park, and you go to the park, you're like relaxed, sneakers, tank tops, like park clothes. And all of a sudden, I look down and I'm looking at my sneakers, my shoes that I just bought, and I was like, damn, I got such a big foot. Like I'm looking at my foot. Not that this matters, okay? But it was my ick. And I'm looking at my feet and all this. I'm like, damn, I got such big feet. Whatever. And then I look over to his feet, and his feet looked how my feet should have looked with his, but it was opposite. And so what I'm saying is that my foot was bigger than his foot in a sneaker, and I couldn't deal. But let me rewind again, because I don't need anybody judging me that I freaked out over small foot, okay? Like hobbit foot. I don't need That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that was a symptom of the bigger problem. And what was the bigger problem? The bigger problem is that throughout this whole experience of having such a great chemistry with this guy, and it was so exciting and I just loved it, and we were laughing and we have the same values and morals and political views, and we're just like vibing, right? Throughout that whole time, my mind was about him. My body definitely was reacting positively towards him, but my heart was just not into him. And it's something that I cannot describe even to this day. Like, I don't understand what it is. I don't know what all I know is that intuitively, like, my future self, it's like this. My future self came to visit my present self and was like, "Girl, no, he's not the one. Keep manifesting, keep praying. He's gotta go." This is like and it was just, like, gnawing at my soul. Like, that's the best way for me to describe it because it wasn't loud, like, red flags, intuitive, like, "Get away from him, he's bad news." Like, it was not like that. It was just a gnawing, like a slow burn to my soul that this was not the guy for me. And then with that being the case, in my heart of hearts, all the little things like his feet, his, baldness, his jokes or whatever, like, those were the symptoms to the bigger problem of whatever it is that I still can't figure out. And I was like, "Oh, no." And so that Monday after the weekend that he came to hang out with me, um, I woke up that Monday and I was like, "Oh my god, this he is not the one. He's not the one." Like, that was, like, my first thought when I woke up, okay? Like, you're laying in bed, you open your eyes, and you're like, "He's not the one for me." And that's what happened. And that day I was like, "Shit, this totally sucks for me because everything is so good and I could just set those little things aside and I can just settle and it'll be fine." I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I sent the text like, "Hey, this isn't going to work. I'm so sorry. This really sucks." But for me, I suck at breakups of any kind, whether it's a breakup in the salon, a breakup with a client, a breakup with a relationship. Like, I do not do well with breakups. Like, I cry like if somebody is doing it to me, like if I'm being dumped when I am doing the dumping. And it really hurt. And like, I sent the text and I walked into my gym and I was crying while I was working out. Like, I was crying while I was CrossFitting. And the girls were like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" I was like, I just had to break up with somebody. Like, it's so sad for him." Like, I laugh about it now, but at the time, like, it was not funny. Like, I was devastated. Okay. So I sent it to him, and of course, he did not see it coming. I didn't even see it coming, okay? Like, let's be real. Anyway, so there's that. And then at the time of this recording, we kind of were cordial to each other on text. Okay. So we still kind of text each other back and forth, but there's no romance. And I did tell him straight, like, "Listen, my heart is not in it." Like, I felt like I was going through the motions. And so I did come clean. And so we're kind of friends. I don't know. We're the friends that don't talk to each other, if that makes sense. So anyway, all of that to say, all of these 22 minutes to tell you were the three things that I really learned in this experience with this one particular guy. Okay. Because every relationship you learn something and you learn you can be better, what you can do better, how to feel, how to manifest it, like all the things. And as a salon industry professional, as a beauty pro, as the beauty pro coach, I learned three things. And I did post about this on Instagram. So definitely go check it out and leave your thoughts and comments and all of that. But I learned how much stronger I am in my relationships now. Like, I learned my strengths and my weaknesses with all kinds of people, but I learned it by being proactive, by being in action and respecting what my manifestations were, right? So I really have grown from the girl that had those toxic relationships in my past, and I really was able to implement all the coaching and the therapy and the classes and the retreats and all the work that I've learned and done. And I got to listen to my intuition, right? And sometimes a lot of times, especially in the salon world, when you're hiring and firing teammates, you have to learn at the facts, not the emotion. You have to look at the facts. And what are the facts? A lot of times those are the numbers. And you will never know where you stand until you get into action. When you see the facts for what they are, people will always tell you who they are and what you can expect from them. When you look at that, then you know where to go. So I definitely learned my strengths, and my weaknesses was that, okay, I need to get better at being not so emotionally attached. Like, it was 1 month. Like, calm down, Christine. The strengths, listen to your intuition, which leads to the second thing that I learned was that you do not ever settle for anything less than what you're manifesting. And I could feel myself settling. I could feel, this is very weird, I could feel my freedom being cut off. And I've never felt that before. And I love and cherish my freedom and being able to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And waking up one day and be like, I think I'm going to put a podcast. Or waking up and being like, this guy's got to go. Like, that is freedom. And so I learned that that listening to your inner voice is completely different than hearing your inner voice. Listening is committing to what your intuition is telling you and taking action on it, right? And that's what I did. I woke up and I felt and heard the gnawing on my soul. And I said, no, this guy is not it. And I had to send that breakup text. Hearing your intuition is hearing her tell you, this isn't going to work. This salon is not for you. This partner is not for you. And you're hearing it and you're seeing the facts and you go, yeah, okay. And you push it aside and you settle for it because, well, at least I don't have nothing, right? Like, at least I have this guy and I'll just hold on to this guy until the better one comes along. No, you're completely cock blocking yourself, and you're cock blocking yourself even in areas of like financial fulfillment. Like, if you're in a salon or a spa right now and you're just there at a place until you can get to the next place or the next whatever it is, you're totally robbing yourself of the next better, the dreamiest opportunity. Okay. So I definitely learned to listen always and take action, obey that inner voice in all areas of your life, whether it's hiring and firing people, your romantic relationships, family relationships. Like, take action and don't settle. Don't settle. For me personally, I am absolutely 100% am manifesting Thor and or Captain America. Like, that is my type. That is my guy. And I know that he is out there. And for anybody to tell me that that guy is not out there in my city, in my county, in my state, GTFO, okay? Like, no, he is there. We are not seeing each other because there are some life lessons that we both have to learn. And when we do, it will all be aligned perfectly. Never settle. Okay, babes? Never settle. The other thing is, you have to trust your dream, right? It goes along with the manifestation piece, right? But if you want to make 6 figures in a year, if you want to be a specialist, if you want to go on a vacation, every quarter, every month, whatever it is that you have for your life, you can have it. Right? I just said it. Like, that guy that I am in love with, he is out there. He just hasn't found me yet. And I haven't found him yet because we are both blinded because we haven't learned the lesson of what we need to learn so that we can be in each other's lives. It's an invisible veil, blinding, whatever it is. So it limits you. And so this is where doing that self work comes in. When you do the work, you do the coaching, the therapy, you get to the root of the issue, you get in touch with um, your inner child. You deal with the traumas, you deal with the limiting beliefs and the gremlins that I teach my coaching clients about, and you do the self work. Once you do that, then you know yourself. Then you're able to deal with the financial part of your business, deal with that problem employee or booth renter. You can unlock a whole new version of you that can deal with confrontation and hardship, right? And so the version of me before this 1 month relationship is very different than the person after this 1 month relationship of who I am today. And it's so funny. It's funny, right? Like 1 month, oh my God. But that action that I took of rejecting the guy who is not for me, the almost guy. I do believe he is the almost guy. He is, I mean, if you are single and you are listening to this and you live in Florida, girl, reach out to me. I will send you a picture of him. He's super cute, super funny, this guy is so amazing. And that is the hardest part for me that I couldn't get over, that how could he be so amazing and be not for me? Like, he is almost everything that I am looking for, but he's almost. Okay. That's the other thing. Like, I've always dated 6'3" guys, 6'3" Irish guys. And this guy was like 5'8" Swedish guy. And I was like having a heart attack. But mind you, this is just my taste. This is my taste because I want Thor. I want Captain America. So this is not to like separate anybody else, okay? This episode for real is like about me. So please don't anybody get offended or upset, okay, of what I'm saying. But please get the message of what I'm trying to put out there. And so anyway, so I moved on, and those were the 3 lessons that I've learned. And the way it's affected me is that it has given me such a confidence in myself, such a booster in myself of who I am, trusting what is meant for me is on its way to me. And I feel amazing. I really do. I really do feel great. I feel like I passed a test from the universe because the universe will give you a test. Oh, these are all the things that you want. Well, let's see if you really want them. And the universe will send you something, or something that is your almost. And that almost is the test right before the one. And so I feel so good to be so much closer to my person, to be closer to the one, because I did pass and I feel good about it and I am ready. And you got to do that in every area of your life. Okay. You have to give yourself permission to change, to want different things, to experience so many different things. And I could sit here, you're probably listening and being like, oh my God, she did not give him a chance. She's so picky. She's so judgmental. She needs to cool it. Like, oh my God, take what you can get. Listen, I have done the things. I have done everything. I have been non-picky and I have been taking what I can get and all this. And I'm done doing that. I'm done doing that. And it's time for others to step up to me. I'm done being a people pleaser. I'm done like letting it flow. No. You want to be with me? Step up. because I'm on a certain level, I'm on a certain standard, and I'm not going back down, you know? So that I wanted to share this with you. And these lessons have affected me because I'm more confident now, as you can tell, as you can hear it in my resolution. I am a big race person, and recently I've just been like, I'm over it. Like, I don't want to do any more obstacle course races. Like, whatever it is that I had to prove to myself since this almost relationship, like, it kind of got released, right? I just did a Tough Mudder race yesterday, the day before yesterday. So at the time of this recording, it was in November. And halfway through, I was like, I'm not doing these obstacles. These are ridiculous. What am I doing here? I need to run home and sleep and get in my PJs and get ready to watch the Yellowstone premiere. Like, what the hell? And so all of like this, and I immediately canceled my December race. I got my refunds back. Like, I'm doing all of these things that I would have never done before, and I would have just committed. I would have just settled because it's easier. But I don't want easy. I want hard, and I want to do hard things through life with somebody who's also on that same level. And so you have to be open. You have to make the decision to attract what you want into your life. And I apply this to the hair and skin industry because we are a bunch of people pleasers. We don't set boundaries for ourselves. We work 24 hours to accommodate all the clients. We don't charge certain amounts because, oh my gosh, what will they say? Like all of these different things. No, your personal relationships affect you. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend at home, like if they're not happy with you, do you ever want to go to work the next day? If you get into a fight with them the night before, your busiest day, and it's always the busiest day, you are so exhausted and you cannot sell retail, you cannot upsell services, you cannot give your all to your clients because you are consumed by the fight that you had with your boyfriend or girlfriend the night before. And why? Because you're probably not standing in your worth. The other thing is, too, that I feel like a lot of us do is that our boyfriends or girlfriends, they have friends who are just totally irresponsible. And we fight with our boyfriend or girlfriend because of their irresponsible friends, thinking that they are going to stop being friends with them. Probably not. They're going to continue. That's their crew. And if they do change, well, awesome for you for being a positive influence in their life. But a lot that goes along the line of trying to change a person, which I have been there, done that, and bought the t-shirt, and then I set it on fire. It's a lot, right? When our personal relationships and our home life, it does affect how we show up to the salon and spa, how we communicate, and how we show up. A huge thing that I do in my coaching is that I get to the root of that with you. We brainstorm, we try to figure out, well, why aren't you meeting the potential that you know that you can be at? What do you think it is? And I'm asking you that. And I'm telling you right now, the first thing that pops up into your mind, that is the reason why you're not showing up. And we will try to reason it away, but it's usually the thing. Here's the big question that got me in this relationship that really put the icing on the cake for me too, was if I was not in the room with my family, or if I was not in the room at a work function for the salon or the podcast, would this guy represent me? Would he represent me to my family? Would he represent my mom? Because, like, I'm thinking like marriage material, right? Like, let's say we're married. Is this guy going to represent me? Am I going to be able to make business deals or lose business deals because of this guy? And immediately it was a no. It was a no. The other one was, if you married this person, If you marry this person just the way that they are without having to change them in any way, shape, or form, including their friends, would you marry them? And I immediately said no, because the things that I wanted to change, I couldn't. And so then you don't really like the person. You don't, you know what I mean? So anyway, that is this week's episode. I know it came out a little later in the day today because when you are in a relationship or trying to figure things out, you can be emotionally drained. And that is what happened to me this time around. So I do apologize, but we got it out on the same day, which is on Monday, just a little bit later. And I would love to know your feedback, what you thought about this episode. Do you want more content like this? Let me know. Send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. Email me. Let me know. And of course, subscribe, share, comment, rate, and review this podcast, the Beauty Pro podcast. So thank you so much, my loves, and I will talk to you soon. If you loved this episode, subscribe to the Beauty Pro podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you never miss an episode. Don't forget to leave your reviews, stars, feedback so I can continue bring the content you deserve and want most. Your feedback fuels this podcast. The more you give, the more you get back. You can follow me at The Beauty Pro Coach on Instagram and Facebook. Want to contact me directly? Email me at befree@goldentruthcoaching.com.